So it's 3 o'clock, and I will call the Rural Land Management Board monthly meeting to order. And we do have a quorum. Beth, just for your records, I'll go around and name everybody here. Phil Meyer, welcome. And Margaret Graves, and Jonathan Disney, and Hannah. My screen is changing. It says, I think, Olivia Grigsby is here, who comes on behalf of our council person, and Phil Hager. And he made it on time. He was a little worried about being a little late. And I think somebody's going to have to leave early. Hannah's going to have to leave early, so we'll have to speed it along. And Robert James is here, and Stephen Howard, Will Mayer. I see that Tracy Jones is here somewhere, and there's Jim Coleman's picture. And I saw Joanna's little symbol, but I don't see her. It's sort of, oh, there she is. I see part of her head. I see your hat. And I want to say to Jim and Joanna how truly sorry we are about what happened at one of our state universities yesterday. And I'm just delighted to see you both here healthy and going strong. So
Yes,
that was a worry when I heard that news yesterday.
yes. Thank you very much.
And I also see on the screen Tracy Jones is hooked on somewhere, and Sean Denny, and I'm here, and Beth. So we do have plenty of folks here. We do have, in order to have our quorum, we do have a couple of people who've told us they won't be here today, Christine and Mary Quinn. Mary Quinn is traveling for work. So those two people have excused absences. Did everybody get their minutes in their packet? I hope.
Yes. Yes.
And does anybody have any changes or additions or anything? I want to tell you, I had to be gone, and I had terrible contact from being so far away. So the minutes and the fact that they're detailed is a big help for somebody like me who does read them and pays attention. So thank you, Beth, for your details. Very good. And to who Sean or Abdelina also kind of helped us with that. So thank you to them as well. If we don't have any additions or corrections or changes to the minutes, I would ask for a motion to approve as mailed to you all.
So moved, Madam Chair.
All right, Jim made the motion, and is there a second from somebody?
Second.
Okay, Stephen Howard. And all in favor, just signify of hands so we make sure. Okay, Beth, it
All
looks
right, great.
unanimous.
Thank you.
We do have some old business. Beth, you want to talk to them about the RFP for the small farm appraisals? Just an update.
Yes, so the RFP for small farm appraisals is complete. There were two applicants, Kennemer Appraisals, that we have used before, and one national group, and Kennemer Appraisals won the RFP. The national group has an office in Louisville, but not Lexington. And one of the requirements was that they be local. They have done a lot of work, a lot of good work, and with Kentucky counties and different things. But it was more condemnations, no conservation easement practices, and they also bid 4,000 per appraisal, and Kennemer bid 2,500. So there was a committee that scored those within the city government, and Kennemer won. So, and then the council adopted that last week on their docket, and so it is official and in effect. So we will use them from now on for our small farm appraisals at the rate of $2,500 each.
So, are there any questions? And I'm sure you all already know from previous discussions, it took a lot of time and work to get all that together and issue an RFP and to go through that. So thank you, Beth and staff, for working on that.
Beth, is there a sunset or a time frame when that will need to go through the process again, or will this be good until there's a rate change on the appraisers? part?
I believe it went 2 years, and then we have an opportunity to extend it. Um, so we are good for at least 2 years.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions besides Robert's? Okay, Beth, thank you. And
You're
thank you to
welcome.
the other staff members. I'm sure Tracy had a hand in that as well. We do have some new business. Beth, you've had a construction request on one of our easements. Do you want to make a little comment about that?
Yes. So, Farm 29 2006 is a 91 acre farm that is located at 2043 Ironworks Pike. It's owned by Robert and Stacy Mitchell, and the easement was purchased in July 26, 2007 using federal funds. The LFUCG Department of Engineering is requesting a temporary construction easement along a small section of the back right corner of the farm. And Andrew Grunwald of the Division of Engineering, who is leading the project, is here today and going to give you all an overview of this. But it will again only be temporary. The construction easement will allow them to fix Maddox Lane, which is part of the Maddoxtown rural hamlet, which is in horrible disrepair. Andrew will talk more about that, but it's my understanding that it's gotten to the point that some home health aides and different things are refusing to go down the road. And Andrew sent a packet to me and Tracy and Tiffany Holsky from the law department right before the meeting. And I saw that there was a resolution the city, the council, and mayor adopted in December of 2023, I believe, that accepts this road as a public road. So it had been private, but they have accepted it and are going to use city funding to fix this road. So we reached out to, since this is a federally funded easement, we reached out to NRCS and they said we will need to go through a process of getting their permission. And so Andrew is putting all of that information together, and that will be the first step. One of the important things is that the first step, NRCS calls anytime you do something to the easement, they call it an administrative action and they have a process. And step one of that is that the board and the landowner have to agree. And before realizing this was PDR, Andrew reached out to the Mitchells, and they said yes, they were fine with this because the little small part of fence, and they're not large trees, they're just like kind of trees that have grown around the fencing that they would take, the city would replace. And so I have not talked with them. I wanted to wait until we talked to you all and see if you're okay with this, but Andrew did speak with them and can talk about that. But so NRCS needs the why, the when, the where, how long will this take, all of these details. And so Andrew will be working on that. We do want to emphasize that this is temporary, and that's why we would support this because we are dealing with some road projects by the state that are trying to take PDR land. And so this, we want to emphasize that this is a temporary construction easement by our own, by staff within the LFUCG. So at this point, I will call on Andrew Grunwald, who is going to tell you all more about the project and show and share his screen and show some pictures and things of what they plan to do.
Welcome, Andrew, but I don't see him yet.
I'm here.
There you are. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Beth, for that wonderful introduction. I would like to steal the screen if I could.
Okay.
I think a picture tells 1,000 words, and I can explain this more with the pictures than I can by describing it.
Okay.
Let me make sure I can do this here real quick. Did it work?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So Beth already has explained or told everybody that in 2023, the LFUCG did pass an ordinance or a resolution that was to accept Maddox Lane. I won't go into all of the history as to why it was considered a private road. I guess you're just going to have to take my word for it. There were lots of people before me that looked at it. That determination was made in 1999. Since that time, very little work has been done on Maddox Lane. It feeds, I don't know, I want to say about 10 to 12 houses. And, you know, different people can make different arguments on whether or not it should be a private road or versus public, but at least the Lexington Federal County government has made up its mind, and they said, we're going to accept it and make it public. When they did that, we were given the task of trying to rebuild the road and make it in such a way that the fire department could go down it. It was to match our existing conditions as much as possible. The private portion of Maddox Lane is only, what is deeded is only about 15 feet. And of course, this is not very wide. Our typical, if you're going to develop land in the rural area, would be 30 feet. So we contacted the fire department, emergency services, and we found out the bare minimum that we would have to have. They could accept 25 feet. They could accept a 14-foot wide road with 1-foot shoulders. So all of those details got worked out. Well, we then went back. We contacted Banks Engineering. We've had them draw up construction plans as well as a plat to request permanent right-of-way only from the residents who live in Maddox Town. So we're in that process right now of getting the permanent right-of-way and construction easements from those individuals. But because Maddox Lane, I'm going to show you right here on the map. See if I can zoom in a little bit. The first 500 feet abut the property. This is 2043 Ironworks Pike. We're going to have to take a temporary construction easement. The road is right next to the fence. And in the fence, I want to say is, I don't know, maybe 35 trees. Basically, it has grown up in the fence row. So it might be ash trees. I don't think there are any oaks or anything like that. I think that they're just scrub trees that have been there. The easement would be about 15 feet into the farm itself and about 510 feet long. The actual area is less than 2% of the entire farm itself. I mean, it's 0.2%. So it's a very, very small area. I have written a letter to the Mitchells explaining to them exactly what the easement would be, what the effects would be on their property. I've reassured them that we're not taking any property. We're just taking the fence out, taking the trees out, cutting out for the road to build a new road. And then, of course, we would put back a fence. And then we would also put back trees. But they wouldn't be in the property line. They would probably be offset by about 5, maybe 10 feet. So you can actually see the easement right here in yellow as it would as it goes down their property. And again, it wouldn't be a permanent taking, just a temporary construction easement. And once the project was completed, we would plant trees back, as well as construct a fence. I don't know that we can construct the road unless we take the easement. If we did try, we would probably kill all of the trees that are there as we dug out for the subbase. And that would probably be worse than going ahead and admitting that we need to take them now and then replace them. We are, as Beth said, drafting a letter. I think it's to Brian Jones, asking for administrative action. And of course, we thought we would present it to you all first. Hopefully that kind of goes over everything.
Will they receive compensation for the construction easement?
Yes, they will receive compensation. The amount will not, I mean, I hate to say this, it won't be that much, just because the easement is not very big
Right.
and there is no permanent taking. If we replace the trees in the contract and the fence in the contract, it would be even smaller. We could put into our purchase agreement with them that they have the right to, they replace the trees and they replace the fence, which might be better than they could actually match the fence that's on their property and put the trees however they like.
But that hadn't been worked out yet with the landowner?
No.
That's to be determined. Okay,
Right, that has not been worked out yet.
okay,
I would imagine to keep this moving forward, we would do it either way. It's
Right.
whatever would be easiest on the Mitchells.
okay.
Andrew, I have a question. You're going to be doing this on the other side other than just our easement. I know a little bit about this project. I did work on trying to help them many years ago, back in the late 90s. And I agree that the road definitely needs improvement and needs some work. How far down Maddox Lane will you need to go? And are those property owners on the other side, across the road from this easement, they've all agreed to that, and that's not an issue? I remember when I tried to do this before, part of the issue was some of those property owners do not have clear title to those. I know that this road has been in existence for well over 100 years, and it has been considered private because of that, because it was sort of ran through a lot of folks' properties. So has that been addressed, and have you made sure we can do this?
We're actually working very closely with the law department. They have done title searches on all the properties that we're going to need. We might have to do some legal maneuvering. For instance, we might have to do, they call it condemn for a quiet title. Basically, when you have a property that they can't find an actual owner, or other people who claim to own it haven't finished the law work, we'll have to go down those roads. I hate to say it, the legal work won't happen quickly. But the vast majority of the people who do live along Maddox Lane, in the back, they're definitely for the project.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the one property on Huffman Mill, we are going to have to take 10 feet of their side yard, the entire stretch. That's where we go from the 15-foot actual, what it is today, to the 25. And then on top of that, we're going to have to take another, I think it's 10 feet construction easement. And we're still working with them to negotiate a settlement and an agreement. But they're actually going to lose a portion of their yard. And I don't know if you can see right here, the heavy dashed black lines.
Right.
That's the existing 15-foot right-of-way easement or private road. The green line represents the 10 feet onto the property on Huffman Mill. And then on the construction plans, we don't necessarily show the additional 10 feet of the construction easement we're going to take from this property as well. they will be compensated for the loss of their property because they don't directly need Maddox Lane. The rest of the property owners, because it is a benefit to them, have been asked to donate. The Mitchells, of course, since it doesn't benefit their property, we're actually purchasing the construction easement. So,
Well, Andrew, just as soon as you get all of these details worked out, how long do you think this is going to be? Can you do all this by next month so you can bring back the finals to us?
no, ma'am, I don't, I hate to tell you,
I understand the issue. I've been associated with this for a long, long time, and I'm supportive, but I do know that there are some issues that need to be resolved.
Once it goes to the law department, my ability to estimate time probably goes downhill. I can't even begin to tell you or give you. I would assume we won't be to construction for another year. I mean, I hate to say that. That's just my personal belief, but
well, that doesn't surprise me when it's already been over 20.
yes.
Okay.
But I do have to say, at least at this point, the government has made a solid decision, and there's no more discussion. We have construction plans and we have a plat, and we're actually engaged in negotiation with all of the people involved. So that's a good start.
Okay, on our end, I think what we need to have first is the okay, Beth, correct me if this is not correct, and Tracy, we need to have the okay from the NRCS who share this easement to give us the go-ahead so we can approve this. Is that not correct?
Well, yes, that's correct. And that's why we wanted to go ahead and bring it to you because, it's sort of a chicken and egg thing. I mean, in order for Andrew to be able to give NRCS the stuff they need to process it as an administrative action, one of the things they need to know is that we're supportive of them going ahead to proceed to do that with the information he's going to give them. And really, I mean, obviously the details of working out that with the people on Maddox Lane and the guy on Huffman Mill, that doesn't really impact our issue, except to the degree that, if that doesn't all get worked out, which it sounds like it will at some point, just how long, then the whole project wouldn't go anyway. But I don't believe that's going to happen. And so, I'm not the one working on all that in the law department, but, what they really need and why they wanted to bring it to you guys today was to make you aware and make you aware that there won't be any permanent taking on the Mitchell's property, but that we need to support this in order for them to go ahead and send to NRCS to get that administrative action review started through their end, so that all the pieces are moving at the same time.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. Now, it's still on the screen. You need to clear the screen so all of the folks, all the board members will be visible again, I think. Because
how to get me out of there.
Because there may well be questions or comments.
I'm sure there's a way to stop sharing somewhere.
At the top center of the screen, there should be a stop sharing button.
Mine just says Zoom in big.
Look at the bottom of your screen, Andrew, where it has participants and react and share. Do you have that?
There we go.
There you are.
There you go.
Okay. Now, board members, you have heard this. Do you have questions or comments? Excuse me.
Chair, I'm new to this, so I'll just ask two simple questions that I'm sure are already handled, but just want to check off, just knowing what I went through with my own little farm when I was building my house and all, is that on this road, are there any utilities that are going to be affected for the community? And if so, is this in the plan and are we going to be okay with that?
There are some utilities that will have to be moved. It will not affect the Mitchell's property. It affects the residents on top of the land that they're going to donate for the right of way and their construction easements. We're also taking I want to say it's a 10-foot utility easement.
Yes.
We, the government, usually don't have to pay for utility relocation if it's in public right of way. Since this is not in public right of way, when those utilities get relocated, that has been built into the project. We're paying for that. But
Okay, so the residents won't have to pay. Is that so or not?
that
The
is
residents
correct.
that live on that road. Mhm.
They will not have to pay for utility relocation.
Okay.
I,
And then
I
this,
think that's a great question, Jim, because I know right across the street from you, when they worked on that hamlet this past summer,
yes,
they really did have a serious ditch all the way down
yes,
that road and all the way across the road in front of you. So
yes.
I know that that's a good question.
It was a lot. And I'm just concerned to make sure that the citizens aren't getting hit with, some cost that they'll get in the mail later. The second question that I had is I see that, there's several structures. It probably was already in place, but when I built my house, I had to stick to 300 feet off the road. And, with the expansion of this, is that going to cause any problem with that zoning issue on the amount of space you have to be off the road?
Well,
It wouldn't open it up for, someone to have to submit, a new request to waive that, would it?
no. We being the government, whenever we go into retrofit
Mhm.
a road, we have the ability to ask for a variance of our own
Yes,
rules.
right.
And if we violate any of the pre-existing zoning laws, people turn around and say, well, you all did this. And we say, well, we
Right.
had to in the interest of public safety,
Mhm.
or we're allowed to do that. Whereas
Mhm.
anything that would be new, and I hate to say it, if somebody wanted to come back in and build a new house right next door, no, they
Right.
could not build it in the same line. They would have to do the setbacks. But
That's right.
existing properties are not affected, and they would not
They
be
were
as,
already grandfathered kind of in already, and it's a government project.
yes, sir.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
they would not be
Those
affected.
are only two questions that I had, Chair.
Are there any other questions? Or Tracy, did you want to comment about any of that?
No, I think that's accurate.
Okay. Any questions? I suppose, Tracy, okay, Phil Meyer, I have I see your hand up.
Trying to follow what Jim said, there may be some lots back this lane. I just looked at the overhead. There's, never realized there was everything back there that was there. There are some lots back there that maybe don't have any structures on them.
Mhm.
And if they have the right to build a house there now, and then they lose 10 or 20 feet of right of way, is that enough to knock some of them out of the built in? They no longer have the right to build a house at all because they won't have the proper setback anymore because the
Right.
lot's too small to allow it. I want to make
Um,
sure that that doesn't happen to anybody.
I think Tracy can answer that because if this happens and it's an empty lot, they can go to the Board of Adjustment and ask for a variance in order to be able to build their house because all this is of record, correct?
That's true. I mean, if there's nothing at all there and you're talking about something brand new that would come in later.
Yeah.
But again, those would be on Maddox Lane. So they really wouldn't have, I mean, I'm not trying to not answer the questions, but they really wouldn't affect the Mitchell property, which is the piece we're concerned about right
Right.
now. So,
I was just trying to answer Jim's question.
yeah, I mean, that's
Sure.
something,
That's a concern that I had too.
yeah, that's something, that these, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, but I mean, there's been ongoing conversations with these people on Maddox Lane. I mean, they're the ones that are raising the concerns about people can't get back here, the fire trucks can't get back here. And so they're aware of what's back there and they want it. And so,
Mhm.
you know, we're dealing with what it is right now. I mean, if it's already there, it's going to be worked with. If it's something comes in totally new down the road, then they do have the right to go to the Board of Adjustment and ask for variance on a setback, because that's a
Uh-huh.
dimensional.
Mhm.
Those lots are extremely deep.
They are.
And when we take the property in the front, we're gonna take maybe, I can't remember exactly, I think 10 feet. And then there'll be a 10-foot easement. That won't affect the setback. So it's only the 10 feet that we're talking about that would affect the setback. And believe me, these lots are 300 feet long. They might
Long
be
and
longer than
skinny.
that. So
Mhm.
it would not affect the setback, at least from what we're taking.
Mhm.
I guess what we need to do then, Tracy, is just let Beth notify NRCS that we understand and we are supportive of their moving forward, and they will be giving us final details after they get all that information. Is that correct?
That's correct, because, we just don't want to send it, or don't have Andrew send it to NRCS without them being able to say that they've talked to you all and you all are generally supportive, knowing that, other details are still coming, but here's what they're providing to NRCS, because NRCS is going to say, are they, is the Rural Land Management Board, because they're a holder on this easement and agreement. So that's just basically where we're trying to get to today.
Because it looks like there are a good many hoops to jump through before there's a final decision for Andrew to make on some of this anyway. So, okay, thank you.
And Tracy, should they take an official vote, or do you think they're general?
I mean, I think they can take a vote. It needs, if you want to word it in such a way that you're supportive of, based on the description today, knowing that there's additional, details and requirements that are coming forth. So that way Andrew can put that in the information he's giving to NRCS, that he has talked to you all and explained it to you. So that, they don't think he's just hitting them cold without talking to you guys first.
Okay, board members?
I
So
think
Gloria,
that's a good idea to have a vote on it, just for documenting, for history's sake.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve in a preliminary manner the proposed construction easement on the Mitchell property based on the information provided to date, knowing that additional information will be forthcoming as the project moves ahead.
very good. Is that a second?
A second, Chair.
Jim Coleman and Phil Meyer both seconded. Any discussion after that? All in favor, show of hands, signify. I think that's everybody, Beth.
Okay. Stephen, did you vote? Yes, okay. All right. Thank you.
And Joanna, I see, is still on the screen, but I did not see her face there. Did you vote, Joanna, with your hand? Yes, she did. Beth.
Okay.
I can see the background of
Are
everybody.
you not able to see me?
Now I can.
I don't see your face, just the outline of your hat. There you go.
There we go.
Okay.
There you go. Now I can.
Well,
There's
I was in
Joanna.
the truck and I got out. I'm at home and I thought I would be a better situation to see me. So you can see me now.
Can
Yeah.
see you now. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right, guys. That passed. I'm going to postpone our staff report and the board members' reports because we have some members who need to leave a little early. I want to make sure they hear all this and that they have an opportunity to vote. So before that, I'd like to go into closed session. And I believe everybody already knows that from their agenda.
Mhm.
The time, let me see what time it is. It's 3:35 that I have. And I'd like a motion to enter closed session pursuant to KRS 61-810-1B to discuss the potential acquisition of a real property interest, the public discussion of which is likely to affect the value. Is there a motion?
Hello, Joanna.
Okay, Joanna and Phil Meyer both raised their hand. Is there a second? Okay, second. Phil again. All in favor, show of hands, please, to go into closed session. So we are back on the air, and we do have some motions to be made. Should I do these, Tracy, individually, or do the first to make the authorize the offers together or individually?
I think that you can. I think you can group them. I think that Beth had them grouped a certain
She
way,
does.
like offers together, appraisal
Yes.
offers together.
Yeah,
Things
is
that
that
are
okay?
like you do together.
Ordinarily we do them individually, but I wanted to make sure that it's okay. Yep, she says yes. So I will need a motion to authorize an offer to Small Farm 4/20/25, to make a motion to authorize the offer to Small Farm 33/25, for that motion to also include Small Farm 35/20/25, and for that motion to authorize the offer to Small Farm 36/20/25. That's 4 small farms to offer an appraisal, authorize an appraisal.
So moved.
No, it's to make an offer, Gloria,
Make
Yes.
an offer for,
based on the appraisal.
authorize an offer based on the appraisals.
Yes.
And Robert said that, and who
I'll
made the second?
second.
And Phil made the second.
Mhm.
And are there any questions or comments? Okay, show of hands, everybody. I can barely see Joanna. Yes, I got it. Okay, Beth. And now we need to have to authorize an appraisal for 2 of our small farms. Small Farm 15/20/25, as we discussed in closed session, and the motion to authorize the appraisal of another farm, number 16/20/25, as discussed in closed session.
So move.
All right, that
Second.
motion's been made, and Jim
Second.
seconded it, and Stephen seconded it. Any discussion or comments about that? All in favor, show of hands, please.
Aye.
Okay, now we have one more offer that we need to do, a motion, not an offer, but hopefully these will all be offers. We need a motion to authorize Beth to place all of the eligible PDR applications on the 2026 NRCS ASAP application. Do I hear that motion?
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, and Hannah and Robert both second. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor, show of hands.
Aye.
Okay, now, I think that's everything that we've discussed in closed session, right? We do have 10 applicants, Beth. By the way, we did not say that, but we do have applicants for the PDR. So I'm assuming that that means all 10 of those that end up being have all their information will go forward. Nothing else, correct? For motions?
That's right.
Okay. My report is that I did attend with Beth our annual required update to the council members back on December 2nd. And I'm happy to say that they were very complimentary. They were pleased that we'd had 1,000 acres that we have put under easement this year since our last presentation to them. And I thought that they asked a few questions. Beth did a very good job. Her presentation was really well done, was quick and to the point. And I think they liked that.
Mhm.
So I don't know if there's anything else that you want to say about that, but that's all that I wanted to say. My only other thing was discussing sending forward to Beth and Keith and Tracy the fact that I want to make sure that these appraisals for now and in the future do make it clear that we are also looking at small farms, and that needs to be in the description of Fayette County in those appraisals. So nobody will ask, well, how is it you're making an offer on something that's less than 20 acres? So that was the only thing I did. And I've talked to Greg about that, and he thought it was a good idea as well. So
Madam
That's
Chair, you were talking
that's it.
about the accolades from the council. I know that we're not going to get into board member updates, but I can't wait to tell you that when I went to the American Farmland Trust meeting on October the 20th at Ted Turner's estate in Vermejo, Fayette County, Lexington was the talk of the entire meeting. It was talked and brought up about our PDR program over 20 times.
Hmm.
Billy Van Pelt was the star because of all the work that our organization, our committee, that what we're doing on our commission. And everybody is talking about it across the country about how Lexington and Fayette County is preserving and protecting farmland. And AFT feels that if we could get more municipalities to do that, we would not have so much land at risk. So I just couldn't wait to let you know that it was the talk of the 3 days. They just kept referring to Fayette County, Lexington. Why is it other municipalities can't do it that way? So
Hmm.
congratulations to
And I
Chair
got
and
that.
Beth.
I
Oh,
got that when I went to Oklahoma City to that wedding in the fall. Was they all were so interested in doing it, and we've had, I will say, to complement the program, in the very beginning, Maynard Ferguson, who was retiring from his job, took that. He was our first person to direct that, and he did a wonderful job. And Billy came along to help,
Yeah.
and Beth has come along. We have been blessed with people who know and care about Fayette County and agriculture and this. So we have, I know Maynard Ferguson just got a Farm Bureau award, and you might want to mention something about that, Robert, but he was just a wonderful person for us. The farmers all loved him and trusted him. And when we started the program, they knew if Maynard supported it, that it had to be good. And Margaret, I'll say the same thing for your organization and what you've been doing for the same amount of time. You've had wonderful leadership, and I think it's just been so good for all of Fayette County.
Yes. John Piatti, who's the president of AFT, American Farmland Trust, he also just tons of accolades. He's just, I mean, he sees this all over the country and just continue to talk about Lexington and Fayette County.
Good. Everybody, pat yourself on the back, quick. Hurry.
that's great.
Yes. Okay. Beth.
Okay, yes. So yes, I'll just echo what Gloria said. We were able in our report to highlight that before we became a certified entity, when we provided our report to council last year, NRCS had only authorized one closing, and we had had 16 since we became a certified entity. So they were very excited, very supportive. Gloria and I talked about it, probably the most positive feedback we've ever received. And also excited to hear that things are moving on the small farm program. So, and tomorrow we give that same report to the Planning Commission, which is also required by ordinance. So, we expect them to be excited to hear all of our good news. And that's all I have.
And you all are all welcome to come to these. Beth sends out these notices. And if anybody wants to come tomorrow at 1:30, it should be short and sweet to the point. And if we have any questions, they'll probably be more likely the ones to have a lot of in-depth questions than the council members did. Council members were just glad to see we'd had so many closings and we'd spent the money. And they were encouraging. So you are invited tomorrow at 1:30 if anybody cares. Now, I'm just going to go around based on who I can see the screen. Phil Meyer, you're next. A report for anything you've done that you want to tell us about?
Well, Robert got me to go with him to the Kentucky Farm Bureau Convention this year. That was interesting, and learning, getting an update on farming economics as they're going on in the country and all the hardships they're having right now. They had one thing they had was kind of a debate from contestants from around the state, and the topic they chose to debate was essentially how to preserve farmland and come up with programs and solutions to stopping sprawl. So it's good to know that that's on the mind of the state organization as is. So that's all I've been up to.
Margaret,
I'm pleased to report that the Conservancy's had a record year. We have signed easements on over 4,000 acres in the state. So we're very excited about that. And also, we had a board meeting yesterday and a presentation from someone with the Nature Conservancy. They've done some polling statewide to find out what the level of support is for dedicated funding for conservation of natural areas and farmland. And the consistent results, regardless of the area of the state or the party affiliation of the respondent, is very, very high. So I mean, in the in the high 80s. So that's good news. There's a hope that at some point in the future we may be able to convince the legislature to dedicate part of the sales tax from outdoor equipment sales to conservation. So that's this is just one of the first steps in that process. It could be years before that happens, but it is encouraging to know that there's so much interest throughout the state in conservation efforts. So
good.
that's all to share.
Will Mayer,
I have no report. Thank you.
Phil Hager,
No report. Thank you.
Hannah Emig,
No report.
Jonathan,
No report. Thank you.
Jim Coleman.
Madam Chair, three quick things. I went last evening. I was in Brooklyn, New York at the Why Regenerative Organic Conference, and they are also thrilled with all the things that we're talking about. It was a funders meeting. I'm doing that because I'm launching an entity that's going to help me to buy more farmland and convert it to organic and to preserve it. So it was a very exciting conference. The next thing that I'd like to let everyone know is that the Summer Youth Jobs Training Program, this is the time now to sign up for that program. You can go to lexingtonky.org and just type in the search for the SYJT program, Summer Youth Jobs Training Program, where the city pays the salary up to $15 per hour for young people to work for various employers. This will be my third year. I had 3 last year, 4 the first year. I'm going to have probably 2 to 3 in 2026. But this is a great way where we could get our young people involved in farming, where they will have a great understanding of it and get exposure to agriculture and potentially want to have a career in it. The last thing, Madam Chair, I'm pleased to let you know is that Kentucky State and Coleman Crest Farm are forming a partnership where we're going to plant 40 pawpaw trees at Coleman Crest Farm next year. Coleman
Fantastic.
Crest Farm will be a maximum producer of pawpaw trees at a major pawpaw festival in the next 5 years.
You don't need to plan but a few, and they will spread quickly.
That's what I hear.
And
They said they sell for $15 to $20 a pound at pawpaw festivals, and they sell fast.
And I wanted to ask you about your youth program hiring them. What is the age group or age limit? Or
I think they start at 9th grade up to you have to be a senior. You can't be getting ready to graduate next year out of high school. So it's like 9th, 10th, and 11th.
so it's high school kids.
Yes, high school kids.
Okay.
High school kids where they're getting a chance to learn. They loved it. And they get 20 hours per week. So I have them coming in Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And they like coming in early because we don't get the heat as much. So we start now at 7 a.m. and we work up to 2 p.m. And they love it because we can get a lot of work done without getting burned out with all the heat. But they have loved it. And the exposure for them to agriculture is a big help for us as farmers. It literally reduced my operating cost each year by having that subsidy from the city for them paying that salary, which took my overall labor cost down to less than 28% of sales. So I encourage everybody on the call to please, they have tons of kids that are going to be looking for opportunities. They will let you know when they're going to have a job fair where you can set up a table and talk about your farm. but I really encourage all of us on here to invite these young people to our farms.
Well, it's really encouraging to me that you can get some teenagers out of bed at 7 a.m.
That's right. Now, many of them have a tough time keeping up with me, Chair. Many of them have said they can't work as hard as I do. But you know what? One little guy, he lost over 10 pounds. He needed to, and he was in better shape at the end of the summer. And he said it was a direct result of him just getting exercise versus playing on the phone and doing games all summer.
That's
So it's
fantastic.
healthy, and 86% of youth today in the United States are physically unfit to join the United States military.
Really.
And agriculture can really make a big difference in getting these kids to work on our farms.
And at anything.
Anything.
At
'Cause it's,
anything.
yes, absolutely.
That's great.
I'm
Okay.
proud of them. I'm proud of them.
Stephen.
No report other than wishing everyone happy holidays this year.
And how's the new baby?
Oh, it's fantastic. I've reduced my priority list in half.
Joanna.
Oh, I'm just want to wish everybody a happy holidays.
Well, you're doing all kinds of things, especially with the pawpaw. And as soon as I can dig one up, I'll bring you one. Put it in a place you don't mind it spreading.
I got plenty of spots, so you just bring it on.
And
Madam
Robert.
Chair, talking about kids, I
Oh.
adopted a daughter too. Her name is Torch.
Torch.
She's a border collie.
Cute.
How adorable.
She is sweet and she loves working on the farm and she loves keeping all the moles and mice away. And she's going to be a big help to Dad in the fields next summer. I may
And
even get a few sheep for her to herd.
she's also a cute dog.
Yes.
Of course, I've never met an animal I didn't like. So
She's 2 years old, December the 6th.
fantastic. Robert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You mentioned that the Farm Bureau awarded Maynard Ferguson Director Emeritus. That was done at our October annual meeting. And I did report on it in our October meeting here, which seems like forever ago. Harvest has been slow, and it's really slowed down with the precipitation and snow lately. Personally, I still have some soybeans in the field to harvest, but a lot of other farmers in the area are done. And Phil mentioned the Kentucky Farm Bureau annual convention is held in Louisville, and we were able to go there. Our president, Eddie Melton from Webster County, if you're familiar with Western Kentucky, one of his priority issues is retaining farmland in the state. And so we've put together the Kentucky Farmland Transition Initiative to help farmers prepare for upcoming transitions in ownership, to see about how to protect their land, and so it's available for future generations to farm. So I do have to commend him. That is one thing he's been really progressive on.
Good. Well, I just am so grateful to all of you all as this year comes to an end. I will have to tell you, Beth put a sheet in with the report we gave, and it'll be there again tomorrow with each of you listed and the organizations you represent. And I have told numerous members of the council that I think this board, the way it has been put together, is the best way to have a good citywide diverse representation of people on these boards. So I'm very proud of you all. I have told many of them that only one time in the last 4 or 5 years, only once with a monthly meeting, have we not been able, for whatever reason, to not be able to have a quorum to vote on something. That's remarkable. I don't know how many boards all of you all serve on, but to go numerous year after year and make it to every monthly meeting and do what we have done, you should again pat yourselves on the back. It's a very good thing. So I am very grateful to you all for having been willing to serve, and more than that, for showing up every month. I know it makes it easier to do this on Zoom with such a big board. And I'm grateful that so many of you have made the effort to do that. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I'm just saying that because we have a lot to be thankful for here in Fayette County. And I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season coming up. And I hope 2026 will be wonderful for all of us and for this program and for each of the organizations you represent. I'm extremely grateful and proud of all you all. So hopefully we'll have a wonderful holiday season in 2026. That's my comment. So we need a motion to adjourn our meeting. The next one will be January.
Wait a minute, Madam Chair.
Yes.
You haven't had my treasurer's report yet today.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And we spent money. I'm so sorry.
Yes, we spent money. We paid 7 bills for appraisals to Kennemer Associates, 1 on a full-fledged PDR farm, and then 6 on small farms, totaling $16,000. And details are in our packets on what farm numbers. But those were all. I checked the records, and they were all appraisals we voted to authorize in previous months, and so now we've paid for them.
And I will thank you again for being very detail oriented and for keeping up with that. And thank you. You have been a wonderful treasurer. And Beth and I both really appreciate your having kept up with these things. Everything either of us ask you to do, you have done and done well. So thank you. I certainly didn't mean to skip over you because I knew we spent money this time.
I know you didn't, and thank you.
We were out of order because of Grunwald and needing to get to closed session to make sure everybody would be here. So I'm sorry. So back to the next meeting will be the 28th, right?
Yes.
Of January. And happy holidays, and I'll call for a motion.
So
to stop the meeting.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas and
Happy
Happy New Year,
Happy
everybody.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Christmas. Happy New Year.